In the heart of St. Petersburg, Russia, what began as a love story straight out of a romantic film, a young woman finding her rockstar prince, would descend into one of the most disturbing true crime cases of recent years. This isn't just about a murder. It's about the dangerous patterns we ignore, the red flags we dismiss as love, and how quickly fantasy can become nightmare when mental health, addiction, and toxic relationships collide. Today, we're examining the chilling case of Mikhail Safonov and Amina, a story that vanished from headlines but left permanent scars on everyone involved. I'm awakened in the dark, and this is Dark Rhythms. Let's rewind to the beginning. Mikhail Safonov wasn't always a monster. Born in 1988 in the remote Republic of Buryatia, Mikhail spent most of his youth in Omsk before relocating to St. Petersburg at 30, chasing dreams of a fresh start. But his past clung to him like shadows. Court documents reveal Mikhail was registered at a psychiatric clinic from 2007 to 2011. Though he later claimed doctors misdiagnosed him with schizophrenia, those who knew him described a man constantly battling inner storms. Yet beneath the turmoil lived genuine talent. 15 years before tragedy struck, Mikhail created a YouTube channel showcasing his drumming skills, covers of Led Zeppelin, Prodigy, Limp Bizkit. Friends remembered him as punctual, dedicated, serious about his craft. His big break came in 2023 when dark metal band Interior needed a drummer. Band founder Mikhail's name changed for privacy, recalled how Mikhail aced the audition. He seemed normal, Mikhail told investigators. Not stupid, great musician, took rehearsals seriously. The band became Mikhail's sanctuary, until it wasn't. Here's where the warning signs began flashing for those paying attention. Mikhail's social media transformed into a chaotic diary of someone losing grip on reality. He'd create dozens of Telegram group chats, adding friends who'd never met each other, flooding them with bizarre content, from kitten videos to footage of his own mucus. When friends begged him to stop, he refused. His Instagram was equally unsettling. One day, tender photos playing with puppies. The next, disturbing, cryptic posts suggesting he was crafting some dark persona, trying desperately to be mysterious, different, not like everyone else. The performance felt almost pathetic. But the real danger came from two sources Mikhail never conquered: alcohol and harder substances. These weren't weekend indulgences, they were daily companions. His ex-wife Polina, who bore his son in 2019, finally reached her breaking point in 2023, filing for divorce and cutting off his access to their child. The rejection shattered Mikhail. Bandmates noticed the change immediately. At rehearsals, he'd ran about women being all the same, claiming their red wrist threads proved they were promiscuous. By spring 2024, his paranoia peaked. He accused Mikhail and vocalist Lena of Satanism, claiming they spread evil while he alone carried the light. The band had no choice. They kicked him out. Enter Amina. Just 21 years old, fresh from Astrakhan, Russia's southern port city, she arrived in St. Petersburg, hungry for new beginnings. Friends described her as bright-eyed, compassionate, the kind of person who'd stop for a stray cat. She loved rock music, dreamed of romance, and believed fiercely in second chances. When they met in early 2024, Mikhail was a man drowning, divorced, estranged from his son, battling addiction, rejected by his band. But Amina saw past the wreckage. She saw a hurt soul worth saving. Within weeks, she moved into his apartment on Baltiaskaya Street. They got matching pendants, identical tattoos, adopted a white cat. They walked together in the courtyard. To outsiders, it looked like young love conquering all odds. But Amina's friends worried. 15 years was a significant age gap. They questioned her judgment. Yet Amina defended Mikhail passionately. He's a good man. He's sensitive. He just needs someone to believe in him. Let me pause here. What Amina experienced follows a textbook pattern psychologists call rescuer syndrome. When someone has a history of trauma or instability, we often believe our love can heal them. But here's the hard truth. You cannot love someone into wellness. You cannot sacrifice your safety hoping they'll change. This belief becomes especially dangerous when combined with two other factors present here: substance abuse and cycles of abuse. Because beneath those cute couple photos, darkness festered. Both Mikhail and Amina used drugs and alcohol. Mikhail's behavior became a terrifying pendulum, moments of tenderness followed by explosive rage. Court records show physical altercations. That first summer, Amina fled back to Astrakhan. Mikhail bombarded her with desperate calls, crying, begging her return. He made promises. He apologized. He played the broken man. And Amina, like so many abuse victims, felt responsible for his pain. She believed his suffering was her fault. She believed she could fix him, so she returned. This cycle repeated. Then came a glimmer of hope. Amina got pregnant. For a brief moment, Mikhail transformed. He quit drinking, cared for her, seemed genuinely happy. Friends said he glowed with pride. But at 9 weeks, tragedy struck again. The ultrasound showed a missed miscarriage. For 2 days, Mikhail was present, bringing food to the hospital, holding her hand. Then the old demons returned. He began lashing out because Amina didn't reply to texts fast enough, even when she was asleep. He accused her of abandonment while she was physically recovering from loss. In her hospital bed, Amina confided in Mikhail from Interior. "I'm in agony, and all he talks about is how hard his life is." Mikhail gave her crucial advice that applies to anyone in toxic relationships. Thinking you can change Mikhail is a dangerous illusion. Ask yourself this: are you willing to destroy your own life to save someone who won't save themselves? Amina agreed. She decided to leave. But Mikhail's manipulation worked again. Tears, promises, apologies. She stayed. The rescuer returned to the sinking ship. By late summer 2024, their relationship had become a horror show. Amina fled again after Mikhail, drunk and enraged, threatened their white cat. In a disturbing twist, he called his ex-wife Polina, still traumatized from their divorce, and screamed drunken threats. "I'll kill the cat unless you take it now." Polina contacted Mikhail, who rushed over with friends. They rescued the terrified cat, later found with injuries from animal cruelty, and took it to a vet. The incident was the final straw for Polina. She permanently banned Mikhail from seeing their son. Yet somehow, impossibly, Amina returned one last time in September. They made a desperate final play for normalcy, planning a wedding. On September 13th, Mikhail stood waiting at the civil registry office. But Amina never came. We may never know why she backed out at the last moment, perhaps a final moment of clarity. Whatever the reason, it destroyed Mikhail. Standing outside the registry office with friends he'd invited as witnesses, Mikhail performed a haunting scene. He pulled out 2 handmade beaded rings, placed one on each hand, and filmed himself declaring, "I now pronounce us husband and, damn it, wife." His friend recorded this surreal moment, unaware it was prelude to something far darker. Amina stopped answering calls. Mikhail sent furious texts but maintained a calm facade publicly. Then, in a move that defies logic, Amina returned to the apartment. They reconciled, again, for the 100th time. September 16th, 2024. A night that would stain St. Petersburg's history. According to Mikhail's own confession, what started as an argument in their apartment's shower stall ended with one precise stab wound from a hunting knife, straight to Amina's heart. Death was instantaneous. What happened next reveals the terrifying depths of premeditation. Mikhail didn't panic. He methodically cleaned the blood. He dismembered Amina's body into 8 parts. Then came the most chilling detail, inspired not by desperation, but by pop culture. Mikhail later admitted to investigators he got the idea from the TV show Breaking Bad. He decided to dissolve the remains in hydrofluoric acid. Let me address the obvious question. How does someone get 48 liters of industrial acid? Mikhail called his brother, employed in chemical supply, and lied about needing it for studio sterilization. This wasn't impulsive rage. This was calculated horror. He placed the remains in a large blue plastic barrel in the shower, covered them with acid, but the lid wouldn't close. Hair and fragments protruded. The next day, September 18th, two friends visited. With eerie calmness, Mikhail showed them the barrel. One friend vomited immediately. The other stayed silent. They drank vodka in the kitchen instead of calling police, a decision they'd later justify as shock and fear of Mikhail's retaliation. Mikhail's plan was chillingly methodical at first. He stole Amina's phone and messaged her contacts, pretending she was alive, just busy, just traveling. Simultaneously, he crafted a bizarre alibi. He claimed Amina arrived with two huge thugs who beat him, stole his keys and phone, and kidnapped him to Kaliningrad. He posted airport selfies with paranoid captions about 3 men following me. On September 19th, he flew to Kaliningrad, geographically distancing himself from the barrel still sitting in his St. Petersburg shower. But addiction and paranoia proved his undoing. On September 21st, under heavy drug influence at Kaliningrad airport, Mikhail made a catastrophic error. He called Polina. When she didn't answer, he sent an 11-minute voice message. Not a confession born of remorse, but a disturbingly calm, detailed account. The argument, the knife, the blood cleanup, the dismemberment, the acid barrel. Polina listened twice to confirm she wasn't hallucinating. She tried contacting Amina, no response since September 17th. 40 minutes later, she called emergency services. Her call included crucial context. "You don't understand who this man is." September 22nd, police raided Mikhail's apartment. They found nothing, the barrel was gone. Then came a knock on the door. A neighbor Mikhail had called the night before. Mikhail's exact words, "Help me bury a big barrel in the forest and I'll give you my gray Toyota." The neighbor arrived to find police instead. He led them to the car, trunk open, the blue barrel inside, emitting a chemical stench so strong investigators needed hazmat suits. Forensic confirmation was brutal but clear. Dissolved human remains, Amina's remains. Meanwhile, Mikhail was extradited from Kaliningrad. In custody, he remained disturbingly composed, confessing everything with robotic precision. Russian prosecutors charged him under Article 105, Part 2A, murder with extreme cruelty. Maximum penalty, life imprisonment. As of December 2025, Mikhail remains in Kresty prison while awaiting trial. The case stalled due to complex forensic analysis of the acid barrel contents and psychiatric evaluations. Mikhail's defense took a predictable turn. He now claims Amina ran a brothel from their apartment, and he killed her to save her from moral decay. Investigators found zero evidence supporting these delusions. Mina's family has chosen silence, protecting their grief from public consumption. Polina vanished from public view after saving that cat, now living peacefully with her. Michael and Lena from Interior gave brief statements but refused to sensationalize the tragedy. This case disappeared from headlines not because it lacked horror, but because Russia's news cycle moves fast. But we remember Amina, a young woman who believed love could conquer demons. We remember the warning signs we all should recognize. The rescuer mentality in toxic relationships. How substance abuse amplifies existing mental health issues. The dangerous cycle of abuse. Tension, explosion, reconciliation. When romantic gestures mask control and isolation. How pop culture can dangerously influence disturbed minds. Mikhail Safonov wasn't born a monster. He became one through untreated mental illness, addiction, and a pattern of being enabled rather than held accountable. But let's be clear, Amina didn't die because Mikhail was sick. She died because he made choices, hundreds of them, leading to that shower stall on September 16th. Her story isn't just Russian, it's universal. It happens in suburban homes and city apartments worldwide. The drumbeat of abuse often starts softly, A missed text message met with rage, a pet threatened in anger, isolation from friends who don't understand us. If you recognize these patterns in your own relationships or someone else's, reach out. National Domestic Violence Hotlines exist for a reason. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do isn't staying to save someone, it's walking away to save yourself. This case remains open. Trial expected in 2026. I'll update you when justice is finally served. If this story affected you, share your thoughts respectfully below. But remember, behind every true crime story are real people whose lives were shattered. Treat their memories with dignity. Subscribe for more carefully researched true crime stories that educate while they inform. Until then, stay safe, stay aware, and remember, love shouldn't hurt. I'm awakened in the dark. This is Dark Rhythms. Good night.